The fourth presenter is Mr. Sebastian Johnson. Please start.
2 years ago, in 2015, the world was surprised by the brilliant performance of Japan's national rugby teams, also known as Brave Blossoms, in their first win in 24-year history of Rugby World Cup. Before that time, we didn't have many opportunity to watch or see rugby games or news in Japan, but that has changed. In 2019, Japan will be the venue for rugby's premier event, Rugby World Cup. As a rugby fan, I want to assure players and teams that Japan is perfectly prepared so they can deliver the peak performance in the tournament. For international rugby teams looking for training camp base for this inspiring event, I would like to introduce you to a very special village which delivers an incomparable package. The place is Yomi Tomo. Yomi Tomo is a village located middle of Okinawa. It is well known for a village with the largest population in Japan, and it's also famous for its purple Okinawan sweet potato. I'm sure that most of you have tried the Okinawan sweet potato tart at one time or another. This place would be an ideal location for a number of reasons. It could provide athletes with a top-tier training environment, convenient and inspiring location, and would provide opportunity to promote internationalization and rugby development at the grassroots level. I will demonstrate what makes Yomi Tomo Village such a special place for hosting Rugby World Cup training camp. Firstly, I will discuss the environment in Yomi Tomo Village. Typical requirements for training campsite are good climate and warm temperature. This is because low temperature can cause decreased range of joint motion. In the worst case scenarios, can lead to injury. This is not what athletes want before the important tournament. In September, when the 2019 Rugby World Cup training camp will take place, the average temperature in Yomi Tomo is 27 degrees. This is a perfect temperature for rich training and muscle recovery. This kind of climate is a significant reason why many athletes and teams choose tropical island for their training. In fact, many sports franchises, both from Japan and abroad, choose Okinawa for their training. For example, last spring, 9 out of 12 MPB, Japanese national professional baseball team, came to Okinawa. In the same season, last spring, 22 pro soccer teams, including international franchises, also came to Okinawa. This is an amazing number that other places don't have. Secondly, another attractive feature of Yomi Tomo is its location. As I said, Okinawa is chosen for training campsite by the many teams besides the reason of climate and temperature. Okinawa is constituted of many attractive cities and villages. This raises one question: what makes Yomi Tomo special? This is because Yomi Tomo has both regional and local characteristics that make it best location for training campsite. On the regional level, Yomi Tomo is located right between Naha, which is biggest and most developed city in Okinawa with the airport, and Yambaru area, which is district of great natural beauty located northern part of Okinawa. This provides us quick access to the shopping and international restaurant of Naha metropolitan area, as well close proximity to the eco-based tourism and natural marine environment of Yambaru. This is a strong advantage for Okinawa in providing many opportunities to athletes to relax and release stress between the training session. On the local level, Yomitan's Zampa-capable park provides outdoor training field and facilities for teams. And 2 minutes away are the resort accommodation of Zampa Royal Hotel, which is one of the most popular hotels in Okinawa. This is a perfect environment for athletes to recover from intense training session. Further, I would like to add that these two facilities were used by Brave Blossoms and Japan's women's national rugby teams in preparation for Rio Olympics in Brazil and Asia Rugby Championship. So it is certain that this location will work perfectly in 2019 Rugby World Cup campaign as well. Finally, another important reason I want to invite international rugby teams to Yomitan is to promote grassroots level internationalization and rugby development with the Okinawa's youth. While Japan has a big demographic problem with a shrinking number of school-aged children, the percentage in Yomitan remains relatively high, and population is rapidly growing. Currently in Japan, the ratio of population under 15 is 12%. On the other hand, it is 18% in Yomitan. Further, the ratio under 30 is 27% in Japan, while it is 34% in Yomitan. Actually, this is really big difference. Okinawa's longevity is often featured in media. So many Japanese people think of the older generation as an iconic feature of Okinawa. However, when you see the statistics, you will realize that Yomitan has one of the most powerful and energetic generation in Japan. So I want to use this younger, youthful energy to the rugby development. It is our hope that international rugby teams will take part in the volunteer rugby clinics with the local primary school and Yomitan High School rugby teams. Through watching and interacting with international rugby players, the children in Yomitan will be inspired. It will be exceptional educational experience in language, sports, and cultural understanding that will contribute to the development of the local children and community. It is also hope that through such an interaction, the Okinawan children and Yomitan children will be inspired to take up rugby. And like an island of Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, Okinawa will become future hub for rugby development. I believe the factors I discussed illustrate why Yomitan Village is the perfect place for hosting Rugby World Cup training camp. It certainly provides a lot of special features to the teams and also entire rugby industry that other places do not. Any teams which choose Yomitan for their training campsite will certainly be satisfied with their choice and will have exceptional start for Rugby World Cup campaign. Believe me, Yomitan will not let you down, but exceed your expectation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And now we'll go to the judges for the question and answer session.
Hello, that you've made a very strong case for your town of Yomitan.
Thank you.
And one of the most convincing aspects of it is that the Brave Blossoms have already used it as a training camp. And that's where my question comes from. How many teams could you host, assuming that Japan wants to use that again? If the Brave Blossoms are going to be there, can anyone else come, or will they use up all of the available facilities?
Okay, thank you for the question. To be honest, the facilities in Yomitan, they're both like the training fields and the training facilities, there's not many. And actually, Yomitan is a very small town, even in Okinawa too. But so I hope that I'm not refusing the Japanese national rugby teams, but they already have came to our town. So it's our hope that it's better that international rugby teams will come in Yomitan. And also, it is like there will be like maximum is like 4 teams. Like one team, if you use the outside facilities, the other teams can use the inside facilities. And Zampa Royal Hotel, it's a very big hotel, so as many as can stay. And so, but the reason I want to invite rugby teams is to promote the rugby development. And I think the Association of Rugby in Japan is also hoping that. So if they're, so it's better to, I hope that international rugby team might be better if they choose here.
All right, and something else I'd like to ask about the facilities is who owns them? You mentioned that baseball teams often go to Okinawa for training. Do they own their own facilities, or does the town of Yomitan actually own the facilities that sports teams use?
Okay, the outside, the training facilities are owned by the village, and the hotel is the company. We do not own that, but the company which run the hotel is in charge of that hotel.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll go to our second judge.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation, and I'd like to especially thank you for mentioning Japan's victory over South Africa 2 years ago by promoting our World Cup. Thank you. Well, as an organizer, I have one technical question. You mentioned the very good parts of having training camp in Yomitan, but one question is that temperature 27 is. You said it is good for muscle training, but at the same time, if a team has to move from one place to another, from Okinawa to come to Honshu and other areas, the temperature, goes down.
Yeah.
How can you protect your presentation by this question?
Actually, that training camps will be long term. It's about like 1 month to 3 months or around that. So I understand they have to adapt to the climate in the place they're playing, and so. But if they have like 3 or 2 days, they will be used to it. And for example, like the last soccer World Cup, Japan had same problem with that, and they couldn't adapt to. If they went too early to the place, so they couldn't adapt. So if they move like 2 or 3 days before, I think that's okay. And it will be long term. It will be long tournaments. So I think if there is no problem with that problem. Yeah.
Thank you. The answer is satisfactory. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you, judges, and thank you, Mr. Johnson. And now we'll go to the audience for a question, and I believe we have a young lady over here.
ではご質問の前に学校名とお名前をお願いいたします。
I'm Yumi Shinzato, and I came from Meio University, which is located on Okinawa. And I have a question. You mentioned about location as a plus, but I think there is cons because official game is held in mainland Japan, and Okinawa is very far from mainland Japan, and your place, like Yomitan village, in the middle of the Okinawa, it takes over 1 hour from the airport. The travel time makes the players feel very tired, I think. And do you have any idea to recover this problem?
So as I said, I want to promote the rugby in the Japan, but in the same time, I want to promote how wonderful is Okinawa are. So, and as I said in the presentation, the Yomitan is located right between those two areas. So, and also, if they use highway, it won't take hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Yambaru area is really big. If they go more northern part, the peak of the northern part is really beautiful as well. However, the place close to the Yomitan is also really beautiful. So, and I said the strong advantage for that is they can release their stress and relax between the training session. So, in that way, I think it will work perfectly.
Thank you for answering.
Okay, thank you for a great question. And thank you very much for an excellent presentation, Mr. Johnson. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。